Be clear about them, damn you!
Manners, Greybeard. One catches more damselflies with honey than with vinegar.
What did you call me?
My apologies. A word of advice in recompense. Follow the crystals. Oh, but that was 3. Oh, I'm making this too easy for you.
I don't know if I like this guy.
It will be easy. Solving his little riddle should be like dealing with him. Child's play.
Byron, don't let this kid get to you.
Clive. I'd rather not drag this parlor game on any longer than we need to.
All right. Good luck, Uncle.
Follow the crystals.
I thought we were the only ones causing trouble in Delamil.
Speak with the townspeople.
Excuse me. Is it true there's been trouble with crystals of late?
You've heard, then?
I've heard rumors.
Damn thieves. Pilfering the crystals that were meant to fill our cups and light our stoves. Us common folk have hardly had a shard to share between us these last few moons. And it isn't as if we can buy them on the black market either. Whoever's taking them, they aren't sharing. A deposit?
The juiciest meat from greens-fed birds. One bite and you wouldn't believe how much he gave me.
Well, I hope you gave as good as you got.
Hello,
You,
ladies.
soldier. Need that sword polishing.
Oh dear.
I'm not a soldier.
Ugh, then be off with you. I serve the men of the Rock and the men of the Rock only.
You have an agreement with them?
Don't be stupid. I just know which side my bread is buttered. Don't want to be stuck under some pauper when they come knocking. With pockets deeper than Zemeckis and an urge to empty them. No, just leave, will you? Before you scare them off. Do you think they'll be back soon?
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
The most fragrant herbs and spices.
Hello, sir.
Do you have a moment?
Depends what for.
Just a question. Dalamil seems to be thriving compared to the other villages I came through on the way. Is there a reason for that?
Well, we're a stone's throw from Drake's Fang for one. The soldiers guarding the Mother Crystal and the shipments need a place to spend their hard-earned gil. The men of the Rock throw their money about like there's no tomorrow.
Is that so? Well, thank you. Don't let me keep you from your work any longer. I think I'm starting to get an idea of what's been going on. I wonder if Uncle Byron's learned anything of use. He'll probably be back at the inn by now.
It's you, the one who broke all our furniture. What do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
I'm looking for my pal. Have you seen him?
The gentleman who was with you? Yes, he's upstairs, but...
Thank you. I'll go and fetch him.
The inn's a mess of blood-soaked splinters, thanks to you. The least you can do is let us clean up.
Byron. Where you is?
Let me treat you. I'm pretty flush these days.
Are you now?
Huh?
Will this suffice as a deposit?
By the sands. That's a black pearl.
One of the many treasures in my collection that I would be only too happy to part with, should you give me reason to do so.
All right. I'm sure that we can come to an agreement, but not here.
What are you doing, Uncle?
Mm-hmm. God damn it.
Care to explain why you're giving gifts to Kupka's men?
Bait, my boy. One cannot catch one's prey without it. And I do believe I've snagged us quite the quarry. I started by asking around the markets as to where I might purchase crystals. I had no luck, of course. It's forbidden to trade in such things. But my uncharacteristic indiscretion just happened to attract the attention of those uniformed ruffians. They took me aside and said they could procure the crystal I sought if I proved I could pay for it.
So the pearl was your proof?
I thought they'd ask for more. A second-rate specimen like that would only fetch 500,000 or so. A small price to pay for admittance to the underworld. But enough about my little act of subterfuge. What did you discover?
That the supply of crystals has dried up of late. And some people seem to think they're being stolen. Meanwhile, members of Kupka's private guard have been spending money all over town. I'll wager those soldiers you've been talking to have been siphoning off crystals meant for elsewhere, and pocketing the profits.
I'll wager you're right.
We'll meet with them then, just as you arranged, and put an end to the trouble Lubor spoke of.
Ha! That preening popinjay thought this would be difficult. It just goes to show, one should never underestimate a Rosfield. We'll soon wipe that smirk off his face. I arranged to meet with the soldiers in a secluded corner of the Velcroy, far from prying eyes.
The perfect place for a spot of double dealing.
I trust I can count on your support, if things turn sour.
Of course.
After it.
Hey. Okay, let's go. Oh, they want to go all the way over there? Okay. Well, that means we need to go down and around. Straight ahead through. Do 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 do. Bo, 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 bo. Desert rose, huh? Every rose has its thorns. Oh, who are you guys? Ah. Go over here. And be inevitably ambushed, I'm sure. They're only going to try to rob us, right?
I'll take it from here.
Oh, they do have crystals. Look at that.
I was beginning to think you weren't coming, my lord. You've brought your contribution?
All the silver and stones I could scrape together at such short notice?
You brought the whole 500 talents.
That was the price we agreed upon, yes? If you've no objections, I'd like to see the crystal.
Of course. Right this way, my lord.
That's a lot of crystals.
Not bad at all. You weren't lying about the clarity. But what of security? If I were to be stopped on the road, what guarantee have I that it wouldn't be seized as property of the Republic?
Because these crystals are no longer the property of the Republic. You're not buying from us. You're buying from them.
Who now? Oh.
And we have no more jurisdiction here than you, my lord. But we have ships, and will gladly deliver to a port of your choosing, now that our price has been met.
Royalists, eh? What brings you here?
Why, to collect their share of Drake's Fang's blessing, of course. Our nations are allies, and so they are entitled to a portion of the Mother Crystal's bounty. And being such good friends, we elected to increase that portion and share the benefits. And now that these crystals are officially property of the Kingdom of Waloed, we are duty-bound not to interfere, no matter where they might happen to end up next.
Did you get all that? They're in cahoots!
So it would seem.
My lord, what is the meaning of this?
Double-crossing dogs. They're not here to do business. Kill them. Kill them both!
Bring it on.
It's not over yet, Uncle.
Good! I'm just getting warmed up!
Farewell.
Like taking candy from a baby.
Well, that wasn't too bad. How'd you like my performance, huh? I've often played the villain on the stage. I think I did the role justice. Don't you?
Greybeard, you were magnificent. The battle scene was particularly thrilling. Such a shame you didn't have more of an audience, but perhaps that's for the best.
How long have you been watching?
Long enough to witness your uncle's sordid transaction. I hardly expected one so venerable to degrade himself so thoroughly, buying one's way into the confidence of degenerates. Ingenious.
This was the trouble you spoke of. The men of the Rock taking crystals meant for the common folk and conspiring with the Royalists. Well, now it's over.
Indeed it is. The people of Damil had scarcely any means of redress against Kupka's men, let alone a foreign army. Until you two came along, that is. Well, we'd better get these crystals back to town. You won't mind waiting with them while I fetch a wagon.
Sometime later.
It occurs to me that I still don't know your name.
Clive.
So, Sid the Second is a Clive. I suppose it could have been worse. Well, Clive, you held up your end of the bargain, so I must do the same. Passage through the South Gate, was it not? To tell the truth, you've helped a little there too. Many of the guards have already been redeployed to deal with the issue of their missing comrades. And those left behind have been encouraged to look the other way should you attempt to pass through.
Thank you. And please allow me to cover your costs. You still have the purse I gave to the soldiers, I trust? I saw you pluck it from one of the bodies.
Oh, dear. Was I really so obvious?
And my name is not Greybeard. It is Lord Byron Rosfield, thank you very much.
This guy makes me think of, like, Aladdin. If he was more,
Greybeard.
unsavory.
Here, wear this.
No, it's a badge, right? Seal. Yeah, you accept a desert rose from Labor.
Any friend of mine who sees you with it shall be a friend of yours.
Thank you, Lubor.
And please, feel free to send one of my Stoluses back to your people. Tell them that Rosina Dalamil is back in bed with Sid.
Omia Lostelan. Tuisa Achilles.
Those are so cool.
I'm trusting you, Sid. Or should I say, Clive? So be sure not to let me down. I have a reputation to uphold.
Nice little side track there.
Well then, I wish you a safe journey south.
Thank you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure.
Come on, Uncle. Let's go.
Quest complete. Huzzah! Follow the crystals.
What is it now?
Nothing.
Farewell now.
We can, however, grab this side quest that's
I've never
here.
forged a butter knife before. Perhaps Forge Master Luber's having fun at my expense.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Neither would I.
Oh, wait. Are you Clive?
Yep.
Sorry, my mind was elsewhere. I'm Sava, Master Luber's least accomplished apprentice. Soon to be former apprentice if I don't pass this test. Maybe I'm just not the resourceful type. People are buying up weapons faster than the Briar's Kiss can forge them, and here I am, unable to make a decent bit of kitchenware. He wants me to make a carving knife, one that embodies the spirit of Dalamil. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't suppose you have any idea what he's on about, do you?
I'm afraid not.
Never mind. Thought I'd ask. It was that or pack my bags.
I could give you a hand if you like. I know how busy the Briar's Kiss has been, and that Lubor needs all the capable hands he can find.
I'd be a fool to refuse.
So, where do we start?
Good question. If I'm honest, I've never made any kind of knife before. And then there's this little riddle to keep in mind. The spirit of Dalamil. Nothing is ever simple with that man.
The way I see it, there's only one way we'll be solving Lubor's puzzle. We need information. The more the better.
You're right. There's no point fumbling in the dark, I suppose. Now, who to speak to first? Well, there's plenty of folk in Dalamil who use knives for a living. There's the butcher, of course, and any number of cooks. They're bound to have an opinion or two about the tools of their trade. All right. I think we have a plan. Let's get to it, shall we? I'll talk to every cook I can find. You speak to the butcher, and anyone else you can think of.
All right. Good luck.
Let's hope that someone says something useful.
Okay. We'll do this side quest when we're here.
Trust Lubor to take a simple test and turn it into a riddle. I better get to it.
True, what I'm hearing.
My carpets have brighter place.
Welcome, sir. What can I do you for?
A question, if you don't mind. I need to know what makes a good carving knife.
You a blacksmith or something?
Something, I suppose.
Fair enough. Knives, is it? First and foremost, it's got to hold an edge. Most knives will make it through fat, no problem, but sinew dulls cheap steel in no time. Give me a blade which can slice through anything that crosses my chopping block, and I'm a happy woman.
So a knife that stays sharp. Makes sense.
Well, if I could have told you that.
Plates and pots!
Oh, this is a different side quest right here.
The baths are,
Hanging lantern! Ah, they've opened the gate!
Lubor was true to his word.
Oh, didn't see this before. We're looking for... Who were we looking for again? Aha!
I'll
Nope.
be asking for you again, my sweet.
then see that you stay a little longer next
Oh my.
Fresh bread, warm from the oven. Take a sniff, good sir.
The finest fabric!
Is it true what I'm hearing? The men of the rock were carting off our crystals for themselves? It would certainly explain why we haven't been getting...
You're going to drink my pockets. I need to drink.
Do 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 do.
Fucking men of the wrong.
Oh. Yeah, Hunter.
What is it? I'm in no mood for chatter.
Sorry. Do you mind if I ask your trade?
Hunter, why?
I have a question. Can you tell me what makes a good carving knife? I assume you use one out in the field.
Has to be able to put up with some punishment. Can't be dealing with a brittle blade, not while I'm on the hunt. If your knife snaps every time you use it, you'll be spending coin as fast as you make it. Times are hard enough as it is.
It needs to be durable.
I won't keep you any longer.
All business, eh? Man after my own heart.
So, a carving knife should be hard-wearing and hold an edge. Hardly a revelation. Let's hope Sava had better luck than I did.
I'll be with you in a minute, sir.
Made from the stoutest stone.
I gotta do this other quest first.
Kneaded to a silken softness.
My carpets have pride of place.
So, how'd it go? You learn anything useful, or should I be looking for a new trade?
Only that a blade should be durable and stay sharp. But I don't see how that relates to the spirit of Dalamil.
I didn't have much luck either. All the cook said was that he needs his knives to be light. Too heavy and they do his shoulder in.
So we're no better off than when we started. Perhaps Lubor didn't mean anything with his Dalamil remark. But that can't be right. I've bandied enough words with the man to know that he chooses them carefully. No. We must be missing something. Something right in front of our noses, most likely.
No doubt you're right, but I have to make a start soon. I can't put off making this knife forever.
Agreed. Luba wouldn't like that much.
Right. I've been trained to work iron. The cheap stuff, mind. But it's hardy enough if you don't hammer it too thin, and it sharpens up nicely with a bit of effort. Trouble is, it's either durable or it's light. Meaning someone is gonna be disappointed. Forge Master Lubor, probably.
Is there no one else you can turn to? Someone who knows their metals, perhaps?
The other apprentices know better than to help me with my test. But maybe there is someone I could turn to. A merchant, a favorite of Forge Master Lubor's, who sells metals to tradesmen passing through the Valcroy. I bet she'd know a thing or two.
Search the Valkyrie Desert for the metal trader. Let's read the Labor stuff that we skipped a minute ago. Ask about Labor.
You and I
Have more in common than you might think. Not only are we both masters of the blade and devilishly handsome to boot, but we are both the second people to bear our respective names.
What?
You didn't think that Rosina Dalamil was my own invention? Did you? It was the name of my master. I inherited from her along with her title and her smithy. Ensuring that her name lived on was the least I could do after all she did for me. She plucked me from the streets and put my less than nimble fingers to work making blades instead of trouble.
Alas.
She was to leave my life as suddenly and unexpectedly as she had entered it. I swore to follow in her footsteps, that I might change others' lives as she had mine. This is why I keep her forge alive, why I play the desert hare, why I care for the orphans of Dalamil. Indeed, I had thought my obligations to Renz and Drika to be my most pressing concern. That is until the infamous Cid made a surprise reappearance, rather muddied the waters.
Still?
I suppose there's enough of me to go around, but do forgive me if the desert hare isn't always at your beck and call, won't you?
Ours is a blessed corner of the Valcroy.
A veritable oasis with clear running water and natural hot springs. I don't doubt that people have been gathering here since long before the founding of the Republic. Since it was founded, they've been gathering in even greater numbers, to serve the needs of the miners who work Drake's Fang and the soldiers who guard it. And serve them they did, lining their coffers far from the prying eyes and grasping fingers of the Republican excisemen. Not that edicts from Randella carry much weight in these parts. Dalamil has long been something of a law unto itself. Here those with the most money or with the most friends make the rules.
They did.
Until Kupka built the castle of his at the heart of the Mother Crystal. Dalamil has been Titan's fiefdom since then. And while his men may be liberal with their coin, they are anything but in the exercising of their authority. Which, as I'm sure I don't need to tell you, is absolute. You see why those people best interests at heart took it upon themselves to organize their own protection. My predecessor chief among them.
How very fitting.
That the noble soldiers of Dalmekia and Walud, partners in crime on so many battlefields, should also become partners in crime. Or sorry, partners in arms on the battlefield and leading partner in crime, yeah. Still, the merchants of Dalamil will be relieved to see them brought to justice. Many have been driven almost to ruin for want of crystals. I'm sure that would be rushing to thank you for the service you've done them if there had been any issue with idea of what you've done. Of course, as long as we remain reliant on the power of the crystals, we leave ourselves open to such exploration. But people are such greedy, needy creatures.
No other way.
Clive, you must bring down each and every mother crystal in the twins and put an end to the people's thoughtlessness descending upon them. Do not try to disappoint me. Okay, cool.
Best of luck.
Alright, let's make our way through the desert. Gotta go the other way.